Good to see ya. In this episode, I continue the van build series with the last of the lower interior walls in the short 4-part series with the kitchen wall. Then I reinstalled the temporary sink and installed the temporary water supply on the new wall with a shelf instead of putting it on the buckets. If you're new here, hi, my name's Bryan. I'm building a camper van out of a 2022 Ford Transit that I can live, work, and travel out of with my dog Cubby as we both get older. This episode starts with the drive into the storage unit where I'm building the van. Enjoy. So, first day after Christmas vacation, I redid the batteries side. I put the wall up on the bottom half by the batteries there. Insulated it, sheeted it. I redid the batteries, strapped them down. I added the other 4 batteries. I put everything all in there and did the whole battery system and got it all done. Moved the Starlink, put everything down. That was day 1. Day 2 was the other side. I framed up for the water tanks, the 2 water tanks, the propane tank and the outdoor shower. And I was short a couple of pieces. You okay, Cubby? Are you all right? You okay? Day 3, I backtracked and realized I didn't put foam insulation, 1-inch foam insulation on the battery side because I thought I needed that extra inch. So I just opted to not insulate it. And so once I got it up, I realized I had enough room. And so I backtracked on day 3 and pulled that wall off, slid the stuff out, re-insulated it, and I also had to get the strut for the other side. So I backtracked and did a little bit more things on both sides of the back. Day 4 was the bench and the toilet side. I did the wall on that side there. So it's all done. It's waiting for the floor to be raised up so I can do the venting for the heat. And when I raise the floor up, I'm also going to mount the shower pan in there too. Day 5, I took off, was yesterday, because I got the surround for the shower. I had to go pick it up. I had to clear a spot inside the storage unit. Then I had to go get it and then bring it back. It's a good thing somebody helped me load it up inside the van. I don't know if I would have been able to load it inside the van. Somebody in the parking lot, just some guy at Home Depot helped me load it in there. Nice guy. Just all of a sudden he goes, "Hey, do you need some help?" I'm like, "Yes, I do actually." I didn't know how they put it in sideways, and I never would have got it out sideways. I would have had to lift it up and set it on top of the cart and then slide it over, and I didn't know how I was going to do it. So anyway, he helped me lift it up to the cart, set it on top of the cart, and then slid it in. So thank you to whoever that was. Nice guy. So we slid it in. I had to make a spot inside there so I can set it on top. I had to bring a piece of plywood and set it up inside the van and make a flat spot so I could set it in there, so I could set it in and slide it back out. And today, what we're going to do, we're going to pull the sink off the wall, the temporary construction sink off the wall, and we're going to sheet behind that wall. Now, because the construction sink is right where the countertop's going to be, the kitchen's going to be there, basically. And I'm going to have a backsplash behind the kitchen. We're going to have lower cabinets, upper cabinets, and then a backsplash. And the backsplash I'm going to use is the shower. The shower surround is going to be that backsplash. But I'm not going to mount that right now. I'm going to do the shower first and make sure I have everything to do with the shower, and then the leftover pieces I'm going to use for that. Just in case I screw it up, I want to have a couple extra pieces or whatever. But the shower is going to be priority. I'll get the shower done first. Then once it's done, then I'll do the backsplash on it. But today I'm going to put the plywood up because I want complete plywood behind there to stick it on there. I'll probably glue it on is what I think I'll do. Maybe put trim around it or something and screw it in. I have no idea. I haven't looked and see what it's like. That's today. Pull the sink off. The sink just goes straight down right now. But when it's all done, the sink's going to have to 90. It's going to have to come up and over and 90. There's going to be a hot water tank right over top of where the dump hole is. So I'm going to have to raise the hot water tank up, probably raise it up 3.5, make a platform and set the hot water tank on there. So for right now, what I'll do is I'll just 90 up and out of there to get it out of the way. So that way it's all set up. Plus, when I put the sheet behind it, I think the hole's going to be too close. I don't know if I'm going to be able to put everything in there. So I'm gonna have to 90 up and maybe even twist that 90 towards the middle of the room. We'll see. It's only a 90, two 90s and a coupler is really all it is. So it's probably $6 worth of parts. So if I have to repipe that when I'm all done, when I get the platform built for the hot water tank, that would be fine. But I'm gonna try to do it today, plan it all out so I can pipe it for temporary and for permanent if I can. We'll see. But that's today. Today we're gonna pull the sink off and sheet behind the sink. One of the things I gotta do this morning before I get started over there is dump the water. If I'm gonna pull that sink off of there, the bottom bucket is actually my gray tank. It's a bucket sink, but there's a shutoff valve on the bottom, there's a bucket in the middle, and then there's a basin on the top. The basin is my sink, the bucket is my gray water, and then the shutoff valve is to dump it. One of the things I had to do is dump that tank. That way when I pull it off, it's all empty. I could dump it there if I wanted to. I've done it before, but this way it's all done and I can just get to work when I get there. I got 2 fuel tanks and the generator. The generator's empty, the one fuel tank's empty, and the other one has a little bit in the bottom. So I'm just pulling in here, get turned around here, and I'm gonna take what's left in the one fuel tank and put it in the generator. And then I'm gonna go fill up those other 2 fuel tanks. It's only 10 o'clock. I think the last couple days I started at noon or 1 o'clock, so I'm still ahead of schedule. So I'll just park right here next to the front of the unit. I won't even go in. Okay, well that won't take too long. I bet it'll be half an hour. I'm gonna run over and to the place I normally go and get fuel and come back. Okay, I think we got all the chores done. Up at 6:30 and it's 10:30 now. Made it to Lowe's this morning. Made it to Home Depot because I forgot something at Lowe's. And then when I went to the storage unit, I realized I didn't need to go to Home Depot. I already had the part that I needed. It was at the storage unit. I needed a coupler. I thought I needed a coupler, and I went and bought one more coupler and like $2 for a coupler. But I already had one, so I didn't need that, but that's fine. So I've made it to Lowe's. Made it to Home Depot. We had to go get gas. So he's whining right now. How you doing, Cubby dog? You all right? You all right, Cubbers? You good boy? You good dog? I think first thing we're gonna do though is we're gonna try to organize this place a little bit better. It's kind of a mess. Last 3 or 4 days I've just worked and left and worked and left, and I didn't get anything cleaned up. I think it could stand a little bit of organization and maybe even a little bit of cleaning. So before we get started, we're going to organize it a bit. Plus I added the shower surround there too. That took up a lot of space. The one good thing about it is it's flat. I used up my sawhorses with it, and the one good thing is it's flat and I can use it as a table, I guess. So we'll see how long that lasts. Plus I got a whole nother load of stuff to unload here. I got the hot water tank and some plumbing and a few more items to unload here. So I mean, I'm gonna have to make room for stuff. Really what I need to do is start putting some stuff inside the van. Let's get started. Behind the shower, by the wheel well, right here, and right here behind the sink in the wheel well here, there's water on both sides. And what it is it's from the wheel well itself. It's when it rains, it's the road water getting into the wheel well and coming inside. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dry it out as good as I can with paper towels and the heat gun. and then I'm gonna silicone it. I've got some roof tar, and I've got some lap sealant, and I've also got some Flex Seal. Basically the same stuff I did on the roof to make the roof not leak. So I'm gonna set it all up and get it going. I'll show you what it looks like before, and then we'll do it before and after. But that's what I'm gonna do. Before I put these on, I had to take this wall off because I saw it on this side, and I remember seeing it on this side, and I'm gonna fix this side, and I'll fix them both at the same time. Okay, this is the one side. There. That's the one side. Using the light on the heat gun. That's the one side, and it's leaking right on the edge there. And this is the other side. It's kind of the same. What they did is they used spray foam to seal it up with. And spray foam's not waterproof. So we'll have to just fill those cavities up. I'll just put like, you know, an inch or so and just cover that whole area right there. I'll put a 2x4 on this side, and that side's already got a wall there. This side already has this little wall right here, so I'll just fill up this whole area right here in the bottom. Just put an inch or so of silicone in there. And I'll do the same thing here. I'll take this board and put it right in here. And we'll attach it right there. We'll make a spot for it, and then we'll just fill that cavity up too. Just fill that whole area up and just make it all waterproof. Looks like this is what we got here. Should be all sealed up now. Got it all the way up into there. Up is where it was wet anyway. That seals that all up. Now we're just gonna blob a bunch in here, and then we're gonna use a stick and fix it. Use a stick and smooth it around. Okay, here's this one. You can see it better up here, I guess. Got it all the way up into there, all the way down into there. That seals the whole thing up. So that's a combination of roof tar underneath where it was wet, and then we put lap sealant over top of it, and then Flex Seal over top of that. We shouldn't have any problems with sealant with water now. That'll seal the whole thing up. It'll take a little while for it to dry, but it'll seal up. It's probably like 2 days for it to be dry, but it'll be dry totally in a whole week for sure. And with the roof tar on the very bottom, even if it gets wet, it'll still harden up. So roof tar underneath, lap sealant in the middle, and then Flex Seal over top. What it is, the roof tar keeps the water away. It wicks the water away, and then the lap sealant is thin enough that it'll get down into the cracks. And then same thing with the Flex Seal. It gets everywhere the lap sealant doesn't get, the Flex Sealant gets too. So it'll seal the whole thing up, and it'll be all good. Okay. I got the one sheet in for the kitchen. That's going to be where the backsplash goes. So I need to have one full sheet in there. And then we're going to have strips up above here for the upper cabinets. And strips up above here for the upper cabinets. So we're just going to have a furring strip going up to here, and then flat 4-inch or 6-inch strips coming across this way, attached cabinets to. So there'll be just ribs coming down here, basically strips. But right here, there's going to be a backsplash. So I want to put a full floor to ceiling one, or not a full floor to ceiling, but from the floor to the cabinet, to the upper cabinet. So that way there's something flat to attach the backsplash to. But I had to take the sink off to do it, the temporary sink, the construction sink. So now I got to put the construction sink together and see if I can make it work. We're going to put these back where they were. I kind of like where they were. Thought they'd be in the way today, so I just pulled them off just for a minute, for a little bit. I like where they turned out. Plus, it'd be good for filming this, so filming the sink. Okay, there's that. There we go. There's that. We got some glue. Got some primer. Alright, let's cut this off first. The sink's going to be a little bit taller, but not much. I don't know how I'm going to attach it to the wall, because it was a 2x4 there, and it was on the 2x4, so I don't know how I'm going to attach it. I might have to just strap this sink, the bucket handle, onto the wall somehow. I don't know. Let's see. If I'm not using the 2x4, I can use it for myself. Cut. Okay, let's do this one first. There's one. Too much glue. This is just hanging up here temporary right now. So I want to put this on here, but I want to put it sideways this time. And what I had before is I had the 2x4 behind there, and I clipped this on the 2x4 to hold the sink on there. So as I was driving, it didn't come flying off. If there was dishes inside of there, it didn't flip around and just make a bunch of noise and whatever. But I can't get the 2x4 back there. If I put the 2x4 back there, I can't. I got the wood here and I can't strap onto it. So what I think I'm going to do is use these are just scrap pieces of wood. I'm going to put these on the back like this, and that way they'll stand off the wall a little bit, and then I can clip this on the back of this thing too, like this. Clip this on like that. So I got to get the height of it and see what I can do here. I'll put the one bucket in there. I'll put the bucket in there without the sink in there first. And then put the bucket in without the sink, strap it down low, and then I'll set the sink up there and see if I can get a height on that and see what I can do. I think that'll be the easiest way to do it. Like that. Got a strap, I need a couple of screws. Screws. One screw. Two screws. Gravity? Really? There's gravity? This sink is not going to last much longer. I don't know how much longer it's going to make it. It's very temporary. It's a very temporary sink. Okay. Put this thing about right here. Like that. I've got my regular sink I can put in there, but I don't want to yet. I'm going to have a sink. I can't not have a sink. Okay. So what I did is I put them on here like this, because I'm going to attach them on here. But I don't know where the holes are, so I had to make holes for them so I knew where I was going. So now I can flip them around this way. There's one. There's the other 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 one. didn't have to do it that way, I guess, but that's how I did it. Starting to rain again. Okay, slide those on. There we are. That works. Okay, let me put that right there. Like that way. Okay. Ta-da! Have a sink again. I don't know how I'm going to get the water there though, because I think I raised the sink up and now the water might not fit in there. We'll see. Okay. I have a feeling. Yep, that's not going to happen. Let's see. I could add another bucket and do that, and then it would be way up on this big old bucket tower and it would probably fall over. That's 3 buckets, not including the heaviest part to be up on top here and just going to sway back and forth. Before I had the holes in the van, I could bungee cord it to the van, but now I don't have the holes in the van. I'm thinking this thing fits on 2 2x6s, and if I put a piece of plywood on the bottom, it'll hold the 2 together. Just a scrap piece of plywood. And I could do something like this. I'll probably obviously be up here, but I'd have to cut those level there. And then it would make it to where it wouldn't fall off the side here. Put 1 on each side. Make a shelf, make it up on a shelf. And then cut this one level with the back wall. And then put a piece on the front here so it won't fall out either. So probably 3 2x6s. And I might be able to, looks like about 2 feet maybe, I'm guessing. Make this work at 2 feet, I think. If I got a piece that was about 2 feet, it would help to hold the 2 feet. And so this wants to be, the spout we want it to be, it's about 18 inches. We want that spout up about there, so this we want about right here. How wide is that thing? 15 inches wide. And we only got about 11 inches. That's what happens. Unless I put it this way. 11 inches that way. If I put it that way. Just go on the side of it, then I wouldn't have to do those at all. I can just put it however. I only have to do the ones on the wall. I have to get the right angle though. Maybe that angle right there. Push. Something like that, I think. So you can see it. Could be something like that, though. With that angle. So, yeah, that's about 27 inches there. Let's cut them 30 inches, and I'll make an angle there, and it looks like about a 45. So we'll just do a 45 on them. Let's see what I can do. I want to get out of here. I don't want to sink. I want water. I don't want this thing falling over, so I think that's what I'm going to do. temporary. Good enough for a temporary sink anyway. I'd say 6 screws would hold it on there good. Maybe 4. Since I don't want it to come off, I'm going to do 6. Late, I want to get out of here. I'm hungry. Okay, there's my platform. Let's do 6, like I said. Okay, there's my platform. We're going to want it on the wall that way. So we're going to have a 45-degree angle there. Let's put a center screw here. Let's go down 1.5 inches. And we'll do the same on this one. And let's eyeball center. Eyeball center. Good to me. This is going to be a record time for a sink because I'm ready to get out of here. Okay, so we need to drill a hole in that. Okay. That'll get me into there. Now, I think I got long enough screws. How about I just use 2 on each one? How about that? We'll do 4. 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And then we'll do one that's going to go here. One that's going to go here. So about that angle. Let's do one there. Two. Make sure I get some kind of threads coming out. I do. I have a little bit. That one's even a little more. That looks good. Threads coming out. Just poking the tip out there. Okay, a little more on that one. Okay, that's good there. And these are long enough to go all the way through, right? Yep. So that means I can use them on the end there too. This is going to go on the wall like this. So I'm going to mark this out here. I'm going to have to set it up there, aren't I? I've decided that I can put it on the floor. And that means I can put this back here like this and put it up against the wall. And I can see where this is going to work out at. Where I can get my best angle on it. And it looks like my boards are a little long. So I'm going to cut a new hole. I'm going to be in about, I don't know, 2 inches? Let's say 2 inches in. 2 inches in, so let's bring this right about here. Right there's our new hole. That's our new hole instead. And our new hole is, let's call it 9.5. 9.5 on that one. 9.5 on that one. Then I said 2 inches in, so I'm going to make a mark 2 inches in, so I know about where I'm going to be going. And I will chop these boards off. 2 inches in. 2 inches in. I'll even get the hole started. How about that? I don't want to drill with the drill bit. I want to drill it with this, so that way it basically creates its own threads. I'm going to go chop these two off, and we'll put it together. Okay. I just picked the number. About 7 inches I lopped off of this, but I left a little bit of it on there so it can attach onto the edge there. One on one side, one on the other side. I'm going to leave them a little bit loose so I can move them a little bit like that. Just till I get it up there, just to double check. Okay, so this will sit just like that. This looks like I'm going to have to scoot the sink over just a little bit to make it happen, but not much. Okay, I'm going to use the buckets to set it up because that gives me the ideal height. I think the height works good there with the 2 buckets. So I'm going to use, yeah, that's a good height for it. So I'm going to use the buckets to set my shelf on until I get it attached up here like that. Now I gotta figure out some way to attach this onto here too. I'm gonna have to angle a couple of them into there too. Okay, those are long enough. No problem. They poke out the ends, so. Okay, so let's set it up there. Now I'm going to get a mark for these ones on the deck first. Put a drill bit in there first. Ah! No falling. Come on now. Make sure these are not too far apart. They're too close together, I mean. Because otherwise, we have to have something on the front here to hold this too. We'll have to get something to put on the front of it. Good thing I built this nice wall so I can just start attaching stuff, right? Let's just do 2. Let's see if I can even get it in there. Let's see if it's... I think they might be a little too close together. We'll see. Nope, that works just fine. Actually, that's pretty sturdy. Let's get something across here. Okay, 2. That seems pretty tight, and it's in there kind of tight too. It's kind of wedged in there. I like that. I wonder if I could slide something through there. Okay, that's how to do it right there. If I put this through here, I'm noticing that it's got a little bit of an angle here. So I might be able to put something in there and have it, like I could slide it through and then drop it down on top of there and it would sit on the screws or something like that. And have a couple of screws and do that. Let's do a small, how big's the notch? Let's see. That's the edge. We're going to go up to here, right? So my notch can be, that's about an inch. My notch can be about 3/4 of an inch because I want to be able to stick it on there. Try a couple of screws. a couple of washers. So if that's the bottom of the board, that's there. I'm going to want to be right here in the middle, I think. There's a little shelf there. Set my drink there. Okay, how far out are we? We're looking like an inch. Looking like about 3/4 of an inch. There's an inch. Okay. We're going to chop this off. And while I'm over there, I think I'm going to make a notch in it. There. I want that notch a little bigger. A little bigger. A little bigger on the one side, I think. Okay, let's see what that does. Okay, let's use the washers. The washers are on there for, right? I don't know if I like the washers. But it's on there. A little bit more. This way. The washers are going to be in the black. One side works good, the other side doesn't work so well. There we go. Now I gotta use a ladder to get my sink. But it's up there. Good enough for temporary. Now I can take these buckets down out of here. Okay, let's take them down and see if it falls down. I can't get them out. Great, now I can get them out. How funny, now I can get them out. I was like, oh great. Yeah, that seems really sturdy. Way more sturdy than the buckets did. Yeah, I like that a lot better. I like that a lot better. Well, that's good enough. Good enough for today. See what we can get done tomorrow. Oh, I forgot there's nothing really holding the bucket up. But I think I'm going to use something like this. This is just temporary. This is just so I can work on the van and live in the van and then have some kind of sanitation. Maybe be able to wash up, you know, wash my dishes and stuff like that. So I'm going to take this and put this in the bottom of the sink, apparently. I'm going to put this up here like this. That way when this thing fills up with water, it'll be able to hold it up. It'll be able to hold up there. Stay up there. I guess it'll have something that it can hold it, that it can hang on. There you go. That's what I mean. There's that. Okay, put the drying rack on the back and clip them both on together at the same time. Done. That was a mistake. And I got a place to put my drink. Good enough. Good enough. Let's get out of here. I'm ready to go eat. Well, that was Van Build 17. That was the end of the short 4-part series of the lower walls. The next video, Van Build 18, I move on to start the upper cabinet areas by cutting the boards that go behind them that will also provide me a place to run the wires that go through the van horizontally. I also insulate the upper walls behind those cabinets, and in this episode, I filmed something away from the storage unit this time that is not building. I show you what it's like to make dinner inside of the camper van that's under construction that Cubby and I both live out of. That will be Van Build 18. And if you made it this far, be sure and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so you can be one of the first ones to know when the next video comes out. And if you like this video, you might also like this other video suggested for you that's on screen. And like always, thank you for listening.